Now, today we will talk about how to trade option in the volatile market as we've been having since the beginning of the new year. Let's get started. As always, folks, if you have any questions, feel free to go on the app topics and put in your questions. Be more than happy to help. Um, so what we're going to do today is about half an hour or so. Uh, First, we're going to go over some of the condition. Um, it's not blueprints, but it's a guide for us who trade option can apply it to when and when and how to take a trade. Um, and also the first thing we're going to go over those conditions guidance, and then we're going to tap into the market and take a look at some of the examples how we do it with what we go through. Okay, so we do on the context and then also practice. All right, so hopefully we can do it within half an hour, 45 minutes here. All right, so pay attention. Turn off your phone. Any distraction, maybe put it away for next half an hour, please. All right, so let's do this. Again, disclaimer here, quick. This presentation is just for informational and educational purpose only. It's not our advice, any recommendation for anyone or anything to buy or to buy stocks or any securities. We all need to do our own due diligence and consult our own expert before we make any decision. So again, this make sure that understand it's just for informational purpose. All right. So what do we need to know? Looking at the stock market in the last few weeks here, you can see it just like going up and down, back and forth. We got some day that the gap up in the morning and then it's bouncing back and look like it's gonna go bounce back and then it's attacking out the leg down, or it go down and then it reverses and then coming back up again. So it's hard to read it sometimes because if people say the market is not manipulated, um, that's both true and false. Because they wouldn't say the market is 21 trillion dollars market. How can you manipulate it? If you're looking at a single stocks or a single index or something, ETF, yes, they can. So it depends, it depends on the supply and the demand. But you need to take a little bit imbalance on either side that can tip the scale to the other way. So and people who have the big books can do that to access the options, futures, and contracts that they have. So it all depends on what they need to do to accomplish their goal, and they will do it. But overall, we who cares about it, right? It's out of our control. The more volatile the stock market is, the more opportunities we can trade and make money. So I came up with these three ideas. It's just keep it simple. Three conditions. Okay. So let's take a look at the first. We're looking at the overall trend. So it's because again, so this is just for just for the day trading purpose. Okay, we're not talking about swing trades here. So we're looking at day to day here for this purpose of this talk today. We've just focused on the day trade and we look. So that's what we're looking at on the past 5 trading days. And see what the overall trend is at. Is that they're currently on the uptrend? Is it currently on the downtrend? So that we can have some idea, kind of a little feel each morning when we get up that we're looking at to see, what the overall trend is. The stock is that we're watching. Let's say Amazon, Tesla, or just the Nasdaq or the S&P 500. If you do the ETF, SPY or triple kills. All right. So looking over the last 5 days to see what's overall trend is within the last 5 days. The second is the market condition, the market direction. So we're looking at to see, is there a continuation from the previous day to the upside to the downside? Or is there a gap up this morning? Is there a gap down this morning? Or is the stock has just been just moving sideways? Looking at it in the pre-market as well. So those are the questions that we asked to kind of identify the direction of the current market in the morning. So is that a gap up? Is that a gap down? Is that a continuation move from the previous day? If the stock is going up, or continues to going down. So all of those questions we asked to determine the direction. And then we're looking at see if any catalysts behind the move today. Is the expected move that news that come in today? Let's say the Fed announcements, FOMC meeting or minutes, decision by the Fed, earning hopes and fear. Those are some of the catalysts. Again, we're not talking about the black swan here. Sometimes you get some disruption of the OPEC, or Russia decide to do something, or Europe bank decide to do something. That's also counted in the catalyst. So we look for those things. And then we have this here, for example, for those of you who knew, this is too much for you to do. So yeah, you don't have to worry about it, but at least you learn about, you learn how to look at the number 1 and 2. Okay, we always announce the stuff is going around here, unless something that come up unexpectedly. And we had a scanner will tell the news, and we can post the news there. Bob really good at posting the news for us and other members as well, and myself. So at least you learn how to identify these two on the top here, the overall trend. It's pretty easy, right? Not that difficult. I'm gonna do that right now, actually. Let's show you this. All right. So for example, let's take a look at this. Okay, so let's take a look at the SPY, for example. Okay. So let's say the first one is the overall trend, right? So if we're looking at like this morning, let's say we go back to yesterday, right? The overall trend, yesterday we have a gap up. Today we have a gap down. So that's in the second one, the market direction. But the overall trend in the last few days here was an uptrend, right? So we see this was an uptrend in the last 4 or 5 trading section here. It was an uptrend after the bounce here. And then today, this morning, we have the direction. It was the gap down. Okay, yesterday we have a gap up. Today we have a gap down. Okay, so we don't have a sideways move here. We have an overall trend of upside, and we have a gap down today. Okay, we go to Facebook, for example. This is the onion stock. So maybe a special situation. Okay, so it's an onion stock, so it's a special situation, but gap up, gap down, so that's easy to see. But overall, just why I want to show you the SPY, so that you can check out the onion stuff, right? So you can see the overall trend was up, the direction was a gap down, right? And then one of the catalysts today was earning by Facebook, and kind of providing, creating fear to overall the market. So that could be count as a catalyst for the move today. Okay. So if we have auto 3, okay? Then what we're gonna do, we have one or two of those, and what we're gonna do, or we don't know all of anything, what we're gonna do, right? Because sometimes if I don't keep track of this, how I'm gonna trade a stock, how I'm gonna trade an option, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be talking about that next. But then I can show you here the overall trend is up, so you can kind of study this yourself. If you don't know, you can always ask us, uptrend or downtrend the last few days. Do we have a gap up or a gap down? Or do we have a sideways move? You know, like when the stock was in here, it's a normal kind of more a sideways move here, a sideways move here. Okay, so that for that number one and number two. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do if we know how to identify these, or if we don't, that's fine. Unless I expect you to learn how to do the number one and number two, and then for those of you who keep up with the news, with what's going on in the stock market, do a little bit more study, then you probably know a lot more about number three. But we have it announced here. That's something that you don't have to worry about. At least you can do those number one and two. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. All right. So these are not the blueprint, per se, but it is it's more of a guide here for us what to do. And of course, yeah, I'm gonna go into practice so you can see how we do it. All right. Uh, Now trading the range, for those of you who are with us for a while, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, trading the range is, I call it, it's a bedrock, is a benchmark. It is like a the best move of Texas Ranger Chuck Norris. His moves and his hand, how quick his hand. Doesn't matter what happened. What situation. He have his hand the best, right? So that is the Chuck Norris move on his hands. The trading the range. All right. So when in doubt, you can just do trading the range, and then you can go play. Okay. However, let's say we have all these three in place, right? So we have an overall trend. Let's say the overall trend was up, the direction is up this morning, and then the catalyst is, some good news today. So everything it looked pretty bullish. Then we can trade the range plus the breakout. On the other side, let's say the overall trend is down and the direction is, gapping down. And we have a catalyst that, earning bad, and people are kind of bearish about this earning stuff. Just like in the case of Amazon today, like people are fearful of earning coming up, they selling off today. Then we can trade the range plus the crackdown below the support. Okay, so we can trade the range plus the breakout and the crackdown if we have all these three together. Now, it doesn't work 100% of the time? No, of course not. All right, but most of the time, a lot of time it does. So unless we know, without the knowledge that you gain, that you know that we have all this, you get put a check mark, just 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't have to have a lot of stuff. Put that in front of your computer. Have a notebook. So in the morning you look at, and then you check. Okay, check your list. And then so you can kind of have an idea if I'm going to be trading the range plus the breakout or the crackdown today. Okay. And then the second is if it does not have a catalyst, right? It just have the overall trend and the direction. Let's say the overall trend is up, the direction is gap up, then I would trade the trend, and plus I will buy the deep buy on the pullback on the uptrend direction. So I trade the range. And what is the range? The range is provided by us here, by myself, every morning. The day that I'm not here, then it might not be posted, but when I'm here, I post the range for us, so that we trade the range, and then we can deep buy on the uptrend, today, and the direction is up today. People are bullish. We're gonna buy the deep buy, go back down to the bottom of the range. We'll make a deep buy. Or the trend is overall trend is down and the direction is down. Uh, um, People are bearish today. The stock is bearish. Then we try to trade the range and then short the bounce on at the resistance. Okay, so we can go puts at the resistance at the top of the range and ride the puts down to the bottom of the range. Okay, so we trade the range on the put side, at the puts on the pop, and cover the sell the puts right at the bottom of the range. All right, so we'll go over one of these scenario next year. And then the third scenario here, there's an overall trend. Let's say the trend is up or the trend is down, doesn't matter, but there's no direction in the morning. Okay, so the overall trend in the last 4 or 5 days, it was up, or the last 4 or 5 it was down, but the market open is kind of no direction. You see this quite oftenly in the last few days, right? In the last month, I would say. You know, a lot of days just open with no direction. It's kind of moving sideways. Or when in doubt, we just trade a range and then that's it. You know, we done for the day. Just take it easy and go play, right? You don't have to worry about these additional money that might be left on the table, all right? This is for additional money that you think that you might be left on the table. But you know, you don't worry about that. The fear of missing out. Then if you don't have the fear of missing out, then just trade a range and go play. Go play golf or you know, fishing or whatever, skiing, snowboarding, right? Um, I'll go on the boat and you know on the along that South Florida and say hi to Donald Trump. All right, so just take it easy, trade a range, right? So those are the three scenarios that you know just make the checks mark in the morning and see. Then you can have a plan out, plan it out your day. Look at the pre-market move to see what direction it's doing. Is that do we have a gap up or a gap down? Yeah, the overall trend last a few days up or down. Do we have the direction today up or down? If we do, put a check mark on it so that we can plan out what we're going to trade on that day. Okay. So if you do your homework like that, it's not difficult. Right? If you work for somebody, you go into the company, you got to know what you're going to do today. If you don't know what you're going to do today, I don't think you can have a job that's too long, right? So you got to have the plan. Every day you come in with what you need to do, what things that you need to get it done for today. You know, same thing here. Every morning you get up, you got to do some of the homework yourself. Put some check marks on here to see which do we have all the three, or we have two of these, or we don't have anything. And say anything when in doubt here, you know, you don't know what it is. You cannot answer it clearly. You don't even then you know, yeah, and we don't. We're not around, or you know, you couldn't ask us. You didn't have your question answer. Then just stick with this range, okay? Uh, then don't worry about left the money on the table, okay? Make the basic, do the base hit, make your some green, put in your jeans and go play, go hit some golf ball, all right? So um, um, that is the in the nutshell. So let's take a look at it, all right? Let's take a look at what we have as for example. That way we can practice this here, right? Okay. Anybody have a favorite stock they want to talk about? Let's pick that one. Okay, what your favorite one that you want to talk? I can give you then we can pick it the one today. Anybody? Which one you trade in the morning? Option people, ladies and gentlemen. What do you usually trade option in the morning? What your core stock? You gotta have a core stock, like 2 or 3 of them. Okay, at least. Tesla. Mr. Weber said Tesla. I like that. I know. Don't you like Tesla? Everybody like Tesla, right? Mm. Except for when Elon Musk screwed up his announcement on the not accepting Bitcoin because environmental issue. He pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people hate him. You see that you play with fire when you're a public figure. You can't satisfy anybody. So you can have somebody love you, somebody hate you, but who care? He doesn't care. All right. So let's take a look at Tesla. All right. Uh, People make mistakes sometimes. So you gotta give him some leeway. At the end of the day, he's only human. But some people believe he's from Mars, but I don't think so. He was born in South Africa. So okay, let's take a look at Tesla. So what do we say on Tesla this morning? Let's say what we said Tesla this morning. All right, so first what we need to do, we need to identify the three items, right? The overall trend on Tesla, look at here. So we got in the last few days, and last couple of days look like we got the sideways move, right? So looking here, we got the uptrend, and then we got a little sideways move. But if you're looking at the overall trend here, it's still the downtrend here. Okay. But this is the overall long term. But okay, the overall long term is still downtrend. If I'm looking at the short term here, because I'm talking about the day trading, okay, except for today, okay. So we got kind of uptrend in the last few days and overall downtrend in the last month. So forget about this. We will focus on this short term only. But then here in the last couple of days, we see this moving sideways. Okay. So we have a sideways move here on Tesla. Right? We have a sideways move, a little bit of the downturn here. Since yesterday was drop down here. Okay, and then this morning, let me put in the 15 minutes here. Yeah, it's already in the 15 minutes. Is it 30 minutes? Here, 15 minutes. Okay. So we have the 15 minutes here. Yesterday, you can see have a gap down here, right? So this morning right here, 6 o'clock. So we have a little gap down here. Okay. So we have a gap down, and so that's the direction. So the direction is down. The overall trend is kind of moving sideways a little bit to the downside. So do we have a catalyst today in Tesla? Anything going on with Tesla? I didn't see anything much, any big announcements on Tesla today. The only thing I see was like with the earning from Facebook are kind of radiated to the whole market, create some shock wave to the tech stock. Okay. So it's good just to benefit it down. Let's say we count it as a catalyst, but usually I don't because it's not pertaining to Tesla unless it's related into the same industry like Snap, Twitter, and Facebook are related in the same business. Then I would count it as a catalyst. Earning Facebook can affect others in the same business. But Tesla is a different business, so I wouldn't count it as a catalyst. Um, so we have only one and two, right? So we have a overall trend is kind of moving sideways, and we have a market direction is the gap down. So we don't have a catalyst on it. So we have two. So we have two. Then what we need to do? Um, so we have two. Then we need to do is pick this one. Okay, or when in doubt, always trade the range. Okay, so there we go. So we have that. So let's take a look at it for now. Tesla, we got A65 to A85. So let's mark these level. So we got A65 to A85. So I have it right down here, and the A85. Okay. And then over the A85, the next range that we have is 910. Okay, so right there. Okay, and then so I saw that, and then I caught it on this 830, 930. After it went there, it's at 930. This is the next resistance. And 930, 940 is your seller zone. So you can always ask us. We can update it during the day, because if the stock move on the direction that far surpass our range. Okay. So let's take a look at this here. So this, for example, Tesla. So it is open. So within the range here. So we're gonna wait for this direction to go up or down, right? So we identify our range here and here, and then here and here. So if the stock starts to go up here, so what we say, we trade the range, okay, and we buy. We get into the next range. Okay, we trade the range and we get into the next range. This over here is the question here. This move today, I wasn't sure about this one. So but let's stick with our guidance here. So it's going to the range here, the ace 885. So if we go to 885, we can take a trade and trade back to trade to 910. Okay, that is the range that we have. Okay, so when in doubt, we can always stick with the range that we have, A85 to A95, A10. Anything above this one will be a bonus. All right, so let's say, assuming that this Tesla did not move this fast like this, okay. Now at least we can make the bulk of our money in this range right here. All right. But when the stocks go up like this, you can always trade every $5. And if you can access to Tesla, we talk about every $5 usually an increment. And then I call it here, when somebody was asking, this is the seller zone here. So when we get to here, the 930, you trade every $5 only. Okay, every $5 to the upside. Maybe there's some room for 950. So for example, so the Tesla there right here this morning, when the market's open, it's pop up over this range right here. We just trade a range. Okay, everything above this is the bonus. I would do is every $5. Okay, but at least you can cap the move here between 885 to the 910 area. But in this case, you can see that sometimes you can see the stock just kind of punch through the range like this. It's showing the imbalance of the buyers and the sellers. We got more demand than supply. But for example, this guy go through here and did not stop at A65, but punched to the A65. Then you got the imbalance of the sellers versus the buyers. Then it's probably going to go down to continue down to the downside. Okay, so we have to look at the movement of the stock as well. That's one of the key things that you want to look at as well, is the price action. Okay, so the price action. So we trade a range in here to make the bulk of our money, the safer play. And if anything in here, I would do as a bonus, and depends on the price action. And then you can always check in with us, and I always give you an update on it. What are the play on it if we go over outside of our ranges. Okay, in this case, Tesla went outside of our range over the 910, and then went all the way up to here. I would say the bulk of the money would be here, but in this case, punch through that, you can see that this on this the ball is really strong when the market open. Just punch through the resistance. Same thing if it, like I mentioned earlier, if it punches through the downside here, then we see that the bear is taking control, and it probably more likely it's gonna go down to lower. Okay, so there we go. We got Tesla there. So example there, guys. You can see that. Okay. So when in doubt, just trade the range. If you don't have anything checked, and it's in kind of iffy, does not really clear cut, just trade the range, and anything above or below would be the bonus. Okay, that's why the range is very important for you to get up in the morning, do your homework first, and then get our range, and you can just know exactly what to do with it. Does that answer your question there, Weber? DWAC, DC, you really like it? All right, so DWAC, what did we talk about this morning? We had the range of DWAC from 76 to 76 to 80, and I would say I would trade every dollars above it, right? I was a little bit cautious this morning, but I kind of have a feeling of the DWAC, the feeling, in the quotation mark feeling. So we got the range of 76 to 80. All right, 76 to 80. And I say we do every dollar above the 80. Okay, so 76 above and to 83. I was expecting maybe 83 would be max, but because looking at yesterday right here, closing the gap, 83. It went all the way to 87. And that is a great move here. 86, 87, somewhere in this here. This is your this is the seller zone here. There's a lot of sellers in this area. So you can see back in the day here, a few days ago, a few weeks ago, that's a lot of sellers sitting there. Okay, a lot of back holders here. So calling it to sell right there. Right. But for example, these DWAC. So 76, we trade to 80, so we make a bulk of the money in the range here, right? And then pop to the 80, then you go every dollar above it. I mean, what's it, 83 that was expected. It's a conservative number, 83, but it went all the way up here. When you see these outliners, why is that happen? The question is, why is that happen? These are, I call the outliners, because the price action, okay, when the ball is taking control, you can see it punch through those, the resistance, it just keep going, because shorter might cover their share, more buyers are jumping in. Same thing when it cracked to the downside. So we got more sellers sell there in panic, and then shorter jump in, try to capture the move, and then it will add it to the downside. When it cracked out to the downside, same thing when it punched to the resistance to the upside. So if you in the trade, when you see those price action coming in, more buyers coming in, just scale it out and move your stop up, and then just ride it to see how far it go, and look for twin towers, look for divergence, and then get out of the trade. Okay, but in terms of the trading option, you don't do that. You don't just like play your game like that. You make sure you stick to the range, because if you're really got greedy, and then you don't know when the stock turn around, you just let it ride without locking your profit. When it turn around, it can kill your premium very, very fast. Okay, it kill your premium very fast. Right. So in terms of option, we talk about here. So make sure, let's say we are taking Tesla option, okay, this morning. If we take a 900 or 910 calls, right? So when it break over the 885, when it get to here in the 910, make sure at least you scale out, okay, or lacking your profit, and then ride, and the price action going up, you just trade every $5, you piece it out a little bit, every $5. until it got to the resistance, to the top resistance, which I call here between 930 to 9, above the 930. You have to do every $5. You don't know when gonna turn around. That that is the trade. Make sure that you are in the trade, locking your profit, scaling out, and then anything that outside of the range, you pieces out along the way and move your stop up. Don't let it turn around quickly and then you just lose. What if it doesn't go this way? It hit this, go up to here, and then it get rejected here, and then come back down quickly, and then as soon it come back out quickly, then instead of having a profit in this area, now you're lacking in your profit down here. Then you just lost $5 here between the 900 to 9, 95, 905, 910. So you just lost $5-10 there. Okay, so in terms of option, make sure that we be mindful of that. Scale out along the way, get your profit in right at the range, or scale out right at the range, and then trade above the outliners. For Tesla, I would do every $5. For Apple, I would do every 50 cents a buck. For AMD, every dollar above and below. For NVDA, every 2 to 250 above and below the range. Okay, so this there's a little trick to that. By observing the stock and study for long enough, you kind of know where they are and what they're going to do. Okay, so anybody have any other stock if you want to take a look at it? For example, let's do the SPY. Okay, so if we just trade the index, okay, we just trade the index. So what does SPY say this morning? The SPY say, I said the SPY this morning is 440, 450 to 452.50. Okay, you can see right here. So 450 to 452.50, almost to the T, isn't it? It went up a little bit there. Yeah. So if you just trade this range right here, okay, you can make the money and just say, look like we have the overall trend were up, but the market opened this morning have a gap down, so the sentiment is to the downside, right? We got a gap down, but we trade the range here, so I would trade the range here, and then so if the sentiment is to the downside, you can always kind of lean toward the downside, so do the puts on the option on the top, and then trade it to the downside. If it go over here, you risk yourself maybe $1.50 or so. Would be max, it'd be $1 to $1.50 lotto, and trade it back to the here, to 450, and then get out, so you can get 2 round trip here. Okay, so just trade a range, stick to the range, and the only time of the day that we can go on that is like the day that the Fed announced something, and then the market start to pick direction, scare or hyper, then we can add on to the breakout or the breakdown. But trading the range is the safest way to do. Okay, so we have Amazon here. This is the last one we looked at today, right? So 2870 to 2900, below the 2870 down to 2835. So we keep trading the range used when the market open, come down. What time is the market open? Right here, 8:30. Yeah, right here, the market open, right there, came back, come right back down, crack to the 2870. So the market goes down to the downside and have, excuse me, Jesus. So we have a gap down this morning. My throat is killing me here. All right, so you got an idea there. I have to go again, get some drink. Get an idea there. All right, so you trade the range, below the range, go down to the next range. In this case, it went out a little bit more, so anything below that would be a bonus for you. Just move your stop down, and then just collecting more bonus. All right, guys. All right, appreciate you tuning in. Again, when in doubt, just trade the range, and you know, uh, keep keep your question up. If you have questions, just let us know when, let's say you have the stock move in that particular direction, up or down. You know what the next support, next resistance. Just give it a call, and we can tell you what we see those levels are. So we help you to increase your profit and decrease your loss. Okay. I'll keep your loss more. All right, so make sure you're checking with us when you want to know, get a second opinions on. All right, have a great day, folks. See you in a little bit.